My name is Carla and I'm 17 years old. I live with my mother in a tiny rented house in the city. My father passed away when I was 5, so I barely remember him. There's just one old photograph of him tucked away in our cupboard. My mother tells me he was gentle and loved me deeply. Now it's only the two of us, and though we don't have much money, we find happiness in each other. My mother works tirelessly, cleaning homes and washing clothes for wealthy families, while I attend school every day. Our house is hardly more than one room with a cramped kitchen and a small bathroom. The walls are cracked and stained, and when it rains, water drips through holes in the roof. We share a single bed and eat simple meals of rice and beans. But on the hardest days, when there's no money at all, we drink water and go to sleep hungry. But my mother never stops smiling. She always says that as long as we have each other, we have everything we need. The one dark shadow over our lives is our landlord, Mr. Parker. He's a cruel, angry man who comes shouting for rent every single week. If we're even one day late, he pounds on our door with his fists, yelling threats. My mother always tells me to stay quiet, to look away, to not respond. But I've seen the way he looks at her, and it makes my skin crawl. His eyes are filled with something ugly and wrong. Once I begged my mother to leave, to find somewhere else to live. But she just smiled sadly and asked where we could possibly go without any money. Everything changed one Tuesday afternoon. I came home from school and immediately sensed something was wrong. The door was shut, but I could hear shouting from inside. Mr. Parker was demanding his money, and my mother was pleading for more time. Then I heard something crash, followed by my mother's terrified scream telling him not to touch her. My heart hammered in my chest. I dropped my school bag and tried the door, but it was locked from the inside. I banged desperately, but no one answered. Then I remembered the back window. I ran around the side of the house, climbed onto a stool, and pushed through the half-open window. What I saw when I landed inside made my blood run cold. Mr. Parker had my mother by the arm, and her dress was torn at the shoulder. She was fighting him, trying to push him away, but he was laughing. Without thinking, I screamed at him to leave her alone. He turned and shouted at me to get out. I grabbed a wooden stick from the floor and struck him across the back. He spun around and slapped me so hard I fell to the ground. I got up, my head spinning, and reached into my pocket. I had a small knife I carried for cutting fruit at lunch. It wasn't sharp, but I thought maybe I could frighten him with it. I didn't want to hurt him. I just wanted him to stop. I ran toward him with the knife raised, screaming for him to get away from my mother. He turned just as I reached him, and everything happened so fast. My hand struck something soft, and suddenly there was blood everywhere. Mr. Parker screamed and stumbled backward. I stared at my shaking hands and dropped the knife in horror. I didn't mean for this to happen. My mother ran to me, crying and asking what I had done. I could barely speak through my tears. Mr. Parker collapsed to the floor, still breathing but growing weaker. My mother called for an ambulance, her voice shaking. Within minutes, paramedics arrived and carried him away on a stretcher, his shirt soaked red with blood. Then the police came. They asked who had done this, and my mother, holding my hand tightly, told them it was me, but that it was an accident. They took us both to the police station. At the station, a kind officer explained that they understood I was trying to protect my mother, but that they still had to follow the law. That night, we stayed in a small room at the station, crying in each other's arms. The next morning, a lawyer came to see us. She told us that Mr. Parker would survive, and that the judge would likely show us mercy because I was just a child defending my mother. Still, she warned that we would probably have to leave our house. My mother said she never wanted to see that place or that man again. When we went to court, the judge asked me to explain what happened. I told him everything, my voice breaking with tears. He listened carefully, then told me I was brave, but that violence was never the right answer. He said I should have called for help instead. I understood. He let us go free, but we had nowhere to live. For several days, we stayed with a friend's family who kindly gave us food and shelter. My mother found work in a small factory, and though the pay was modest, we felt safer than we had in years. Then something unexpected happened. A woman from a charity organization visited us. She said she had read about our story in the newspaper and that many people wanted to help. She handed my mother a letter explaining that we would be given a small house to live in, rent-free for 1 year. My mother cried tears of joy and held me close, saying that God never abandons those who love truly. Now we live in our new home. It has 2 rooms, a kitchen, and a bathroom. We don't have much, but we have safety and we have each other. I know now that protecting the ones we love sometimes means being brave in the face of terrible fear. My mother is my whole world, and I would do anything to keep her safe. That will never change.